Let's start with the new poem. It is a small town and river, right? This is the 12th standard higher secondary education board, HSC board, and we are about to complete the poem now. Only few poems are left, and then your whole 12th standard poem is going to complete. Alright, this is the second last one. Small town and river. Okay, small town and rivers. Okay, what do you mean by small town? So here are there some icebreakers are there. Most of the civilization have flourished on the banks of river. Discuss the reason in the class. So most of the civilization is nothing but the period have actually stayed and flourished near the bank of the river. Why? Because of availability of water, because of traveling from one place to another, right? Because for sustenance, right? Because for doing agriculture, that's why they had flourished. This was the reason. Okay, write down the name of famous cities that are situated in the banks of river. Like Ganga is where Varanasi, Yamuna is where, Godavari is where, Krishna, Tapi is where, Tapi is in Maharashtra, Godavari is in Maharashtra. Like this you need to say that. Okay, write down the main names of the rivers and the banks of following cities have purpose, right? Okay, divide your class into groups and discuss the changes. So these are the personal things are there that you can do. Now let's come to the poem. So basically, who is the poet? By the you can see that like she is from North India, Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, like from Seventh Sister, Mamang Dai. She is a poet, and she was born in 1957. And she is a novelist, she is a journalist, she is a former civil servant from Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, Itanagar is a city of the AP, Arunachal Pradesh, and she was a government officer, civil servant, okay, journalist, novel, okay, novelist, and author. And she writes in English as well as in Adi language. Okay, Adi, which means the Arunachal Pradesh language. She also active on radio and TV journalist, covering news program and interview for All India Radio and Doordarshan Itanagar. Okay, so basically she is who? She is a media person, she is a journalist, she is a civil servant. She know the two languages, which means English and her own mother tongue, own state language, and she cover in the news program from for the All India Radio and from Itanagar news program. Okay, she was a program officer with Worldwide Fund for Nature, and she was also program officer for Worldwide Fund for Nature and worked with biodiversity biodiversity hotspot conservation program. And she has received the and basically in the worldwide she is also a program officer in the Worldwide Fund, and she worked in the program of biodiversity conservation program hotspot conservation program. And she also received in 2011 the Padam Shri award and Sahitya Academy award in 2017. Mamang Dai is a strong voice from the northeast, a writer, a poet, an excellence whose works has the fragrance of her land and her people. So she is the actually she got this big award, Padam Shri award she got, and she even got a Sahitya Academy award. And she is a very strong voice from her side. She is a very strong voice, okay, from her side of her people. Okay, and we can see the fragrance of her side and of her people. Okay, till now everyone understood who is Mamang Dai. Mamang Dai is a lady. She is from Arunachal Pradesh. She was a civil servant, she was a writer, she was a novelist, she was a poet, and she got the Padam Shri award, and she even got a Sahitya Academy Award, Padam Shri Award she got 2011, 2017 she got the Sahitya Academy Award, and she is a strong voice from her side. Okay, and she also works for Doordarshan, All India Radio. Okay, she knows the two language, Adi languages and the English. Clear? So now let's talk about the poem. The poem Small Towns and River is taken from the collection of the poem. Okay, the poem Small Towns and River is taken from the collection of the poem. This poem is taken from the collection of poem The River. Okay, so basically this poem is taken from the River poem and published in 2004. Okay, this poem is taken from River poem and it is published in 2004. The poem describes a landscape. So this poem, one thing understood, this poem is taken from the River poem, and this poem describes the landscape and the nature where the river is the dominant phenomena. So basically we can understand about the landscape of the area, but the river is dominant over there. Okay, in this poem we will try and understand through the concept like river, through the concept. So through the concept like river has a soul, and the river knows immortality of water. So in this poem we will understand what is the concept of river has a soul and river has immortality of water. River knows the immortality of water. The poet makes us aware of the lively nature around our hometown Pasighat and the eternity of the natural element. So the poem, in this poem, the poet, which means the Mamanga, aware about the nature is immortality. Nature never dies. She aware us. Okay, and she finds that even life and death are transient. She finds that even the life and death are transient. The poem is based on the belief of the tribal people from the northeast that the soul of the beloved ones always continue to dwell in the natural element around. So this poem is totally based on the belief of the tribal area, and that the soul is totally moved to the according to the nature. Okay, so she remembers that when she see the town. So in this poem we will try and understand about the tribal people beliefs, and she remembered the death when she looked at the town. Okay, the town she implies, the town she implies have prospered when nature has been destroyed. Okay, the town she implies has when nature has been destroyed. The town which she is portraying have a prospered when nature has been destroyed. The poet has expressed anxiety at the development in the small town. So in short, we in this poem we will try and understand the poet is expressing about talking about his town or about her town, and she is saying that here the people are totally that here the people are moving with the nature. Okay, and she is explaining about her small town, but the river is the important phenomena, dominant phenomena. The river has a soul. She is awareing us the how the river is also has immortal throughout the life. They are not going to die. Okay, let's start with the small towns and trees. Okay, so simply the small towns uh, always remind me of death. So the poet is saying that my village, small town, always when I looked at my village, so I always thought about the death. My hometown lies calmly amidst the trees. My hometown is actually lies near the trees, small trees, and it is always the same in summer or winter. So my small town is always same in summer also and in winter also. There is no change in weather. With the dust flying, always there is a dust are flying, or the wind howling down the gorge. Okay, so with the dust are flying or the wind is howling down the gorge. Gorge is nothing but the mountains. The wind is flowing down the gorge. So in the first stanza, she is explaining about her town. Her town is near her town. There is a trees are there. The season are same. The winds are moving from between the gorge. Okay. Just the other day, someone died. So the poet is saying that another day in my town, someone has died. In the dreadful silence we were, and very seriously silent, we cried, and looked at the sad wrath of Tiberius, and we looked at the sad wrath is nothing but the bouquet of Tiberius, life and death, and life and death. Only the rituals are permanent. So in the second stanza, she is explaining that, like in her town, in the next day when someone died, they cried and they looked at the flowers of bouquet very seriously, and the poet is saying that the life and death, only life and death will be happen in this world, but rituals are permanent, which means so many people have come in this world and they have died, but still the people are following the rituals, still the people are celebrating the festivals. Those are nothing but the rituals only. Okay, the organism will come in this planet, they will die. The organism will come in this planet, they will die, but the rituals are permanent. Okay, the river has a soul. Okay, the river has a soul. So here she is explaining that the river has a soul, which means the river has a, like human body has a soul, so like this river also has a soul. She is explaining, in the summer it cuts through the land. In the summertime it cuts through the land. Why? Because rivers has a soul. In the summer season it cuts through the land like a torrent grief. Okay, it cuts to the land like a very torrent grief very seriously, and sometime I think it holds its breath, seeking a land of fish and star. So river has a soul. She is explaining that river has a soul. In the summertime means what, there is a very heat, so it cuts the land. And why it's cut the land? Because it wants, okay, it's seeking for fish, and so it is a soul, so definitely it holds the breath and seeking for land of fish and stars. Okay, so first stanza we have understood, in the summertime it holds the breath, and it is seeking for what? It is seeking for land and fish. The river has a soul. It knows, stretching past the town. Okay, the river has a soul. It knows, stretching stretching past the town, from the first drop of rain to dry earth. Okay, second one is nothing but the river has a soul. It knows, stretching past the town, from the first drop of rain to dry first drop of rain to dry earth and the mist on the mountains. The river knows the immortality. So basically the river, first we have understood it holds the breath, and now the river has a soul. Why? Because river knows to stretch past the town, like to stretch himself, to move himself, and from the first drop of rain to give the water to the river knows, like from the first drop of rain to give the water to the mountain. And the rivers knows immortality of water. The rivers knows that the water is immortal, the water never going to be die. Okay, a shrine of happy pictures makes a day of childhood. So Now the poet is explaining that a shine of happy picture, which means she talks about very a childhood picture are very holy. Okay, it makes the day. Okay, small town grow with anxiety for the future. So she is saying that old days was very nice, and these small towns when grow, it is grows with anxiety for the future. The dead are place pointing west. So now the poet is explaining about the death. So that the dead body are placed towards the western side, okay, pointing the west. And when the soul rises, it walks toward the golden east, into the house of sun. So she is explaining now about the dead body in her village are placing the head is placing towards the west, and when the soul is coming out from the body, it walks towards the golden east, which means the sun. In the cool bamboo, the restore its sunlight. The life matters like this. So these three lines are very important. So in the cool bamboo, which means the restore in sunlight, life matters like this. So basically, if you see the cool bamboo, the bamboo is cool every time, but when the sunlight is falling into the cool bamboo, so it becomes a warm for a few minutes, and after that it turns to the it 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 becomes a cool. So life is like this only. You are a body, the soul comes and then soul comes goes out. Okay, in small towns by the river, we all want to walk with the gods. Okay, so she is explaining that in this small town, we all want to walk with the god. Where the god is going, we will walk towards him. Okay, so basically, in short, in this poem, we have understood about the what she is explaining. Okay, so discuss the importance of the nature from the Northeastern Express poem with the reference flowers, bamboo, and east, whatever. Okay, I am stopping here now.